morning, guys. My name is Adobe and I'm a graduate of University of Rochester. This morning I just talked about, so many people have just been talking about how you can study in other countries and even in the US, but there are a few videos out there that talk about the stress that international students go through, the stress you might be going through as an international student. Now, I'm not making this video to scare someone, but I'm making this video for you to take cognizance of, what may happen or what might not happen, but you should expect it, and, how you can face that challenge and drag the bulls by the horn, right? And that's the way out. So, do not be scared with the video. Just sit down, pay attention, and you will get the key there. You will understand how these things can be solved and how you can scale through. And I will be listing the points, but before I go into the video, please, I always say please and please do like and subscribe, drop your comments, drop your question. Let's make this interactive, right? Let's make the video interactive. Let's ask each other questions and let's understand what we can do together. Because of course, if you have any question, I'm here to help. I will create time out of my busy schedule and help anyone who wants success, because I love people who work hard to survive. Okay, let's go straight into the point. And the first one is culture shock. You are going totally to a total different country where you have never been before, or you may have been before, who knows, I don't know. So many of us have never been to the country we want to study at, right? And you finally find yourself, you get the admission, you now see yourself in that country. Honestly, you are just going to be like, really? I don't know the people here, I don't know the culture, the language might be totally different to you, and the people are from different countries altogether. So you might be culturally shocked because you've never been to that country before, and at that point you look around, you be like, what, I think I want to go back to my home country. Some people would say that I said it. But I got used to, I did get used to the culture, because I now started seeing it as a thing of interest. One thing is, when you see something as a challenge, see it as something of interest. You will now start seeing it easy and follow it with an easy step. So your excitement might fade away immediately the moment you are in that country. And don't be discouraged and don't get scared, don't be nervous. What you have to do is to, like I said in my other videos, try to connect with other international students. That is going to take away the cultural shock immediately. Connect with international students. Do not see this culture, this country you are into, see it as like, listen, I've been here before, I can do this, right? Take it that way, and you are not going to, the cultural shock is going to easily fade away. So I always advise people, try to meet with other international students, make friends, socialize, belong to some groups, because that will help you to get information on how you can attend classes and how you can do whatever you have to do while studying in that school and in that country. So do not allow cultural shock to make you feel so nervous and make you to feel like you want to run back home. Try to learn people's culture, meet with fellow international students like I said before, and connect with like-minded people, because that will help you a lot, and it is going to boost your confidence about, I can do it. You are very confident in yourself that you can do it. So the second thing is language barrier. Depending on what country you're going to and what country you're coming from. Now, if you're going to an English-speaking country and you're coming from a French-speaking country, that could be a mixture, but not really a good mixture, right? It also depends if you know how to speak English or if you don't. And another thing is, if you're going to a French-speaking country when you're coming from an English-speaking country, oh my God, it's another. Anyways, but there are so many ways to kill a rat. The thing you have to do is to start taking language classes. Some European countries, like I know Germany, will put you through a language class. You take this language class for some countries will be like you have to take it for 6 months. In some countries you take it for 1 year, and some will put you through a language test. Like I know the US will always want you to, US, Canada will always want you to submit a language test. Either you write the TOEFL or you write the IELTS. So you have to have all these things in mind, and do not be challenged with the barrier in language, because you can definitely do it. So what you have to do is, whatever country you find yourself, try to take language classes, and your problem will be solved. And practice with other international students, practice with friends, and do not be discouraged with the barrier in the language, because you are not the only one. There are so many who did it, so why not you? You can do it as well. You can do it if you put your mind towards it. Whatever you put your mind towards to, you can work that thing out and make it very easy for yourself. So the third point is difficulty understanding lectures. Most of us come from a country where the curriculum is totally different from what you are moving into, and the teaching system might be different. Every classroom setting might be different, right? I had that experience. Oh my god, I had the experience, and I'm going to be saying this based on the experience I had. Now, the first day I got into class, I was expecting my professor to come give me a note, to write, to jot, to come say something, because I came from a country where the professors will come into class and give you they'll feed you, and then they'll expect you to answer questions based on what they've given to you. Like they will assign textbook for you to go read, come into class and teach, explain the textbook and all those stuff, right? And then at the end of the semester, or the middle of the semester, you do your quiz, you do your test. At the end of the semester, you do your exams. That was the kind of classroom setting I came from. And then I stepped into the US thinking I was going to see the same thing, but oh my god, it was totally different from what I used to have back home. The first day I was like, the professor stepped into the class and was expecting us to talk. Like, talk what? Really? I don't even know. Like, okay, fine. I came in late, right? My admission was late and I came into the country late. I didn't know that there was a textbook assigned already, and the textbook, it's online, it's not a hard copy. I don't even know, like, how do I access this textbook? Like, where do I start? And I saw that the textbook that is online, it's not like you going to Google to search for the textbook, but there's something called Blackboard that you have to have, your personal Blackboard, where the textbook or the class materials are being posted for you to go there and understand what you have to do with your class materials, read it up and come to the class and feed the professor whatever you have understood from those class materials. So I was like seriously, what do I say? Like, and they expect you to say something. You must say something, because you're being graded with that classroom communication. They are looking at it. It doesn't matter what else you have to say. At least let it say something that makes, even if it makes a little meaning. They want to see you talk in class. So that first day I don't know, I was mixed with cultural shock. I was mixed with this not understanding how the lecture is being going, because it was really too much. So the class, do not expect that the classroom setting you have back home is the same thing you're going to be meeting in whatever country you're going to, because most professors in the schools, they want you to come to class and feed them, tell them what you've understood from this classroom, from the class materials that you were giving. So how do you do this? You talk to your fellow students. It doesn't matter if you have, I did not have any international student in my class. It was only like native students, but I mean, they're human beings like you. You talk to them, right? Talk to them. If you're so confused that you don't understand what they're saying, go to your professor, like, Professor, I don't understand this. I need to get what is happening in class. And that was actually what I did. I went straight to the professor after class and like, where do I get the class materials? Because I don't really understand what's going on. This is not actually the way we do it in our country. So the professor had to, explain to me step by step on how you can have access to the blackboard, and how you can, have access to your materials, and how you can see your grades, and how, your total, how do I say, organization on, and how your performance in class, how, where you can assess your class performance. If you're really doing well, you see your test, you see your quiz, things like that. So the professor took me around those things, and I was able to understand what was going on in class. And the following weeks and semesters, I was able to scale through, and I found out that it was nothing. It's still something you have to get accustomed to, just like you got accustomed to whatever class you had back home. That is the same way you would get accustomed to whatever class you are going to be having in the country you're going to study as an international student. So the next point I have on my list is academic writing. Academic writing can be a challenging one. It can be a challenging one. I will tell you based on my experience, because I was writing based on where I was coming from, right? I came from a totally different country, and this is how I was groomed as a student. So I wrote like that, and I had one of my professors tell me, listen, you're now in America, you're not home. You have to write like a native. I'm like, really? Nobody told me all this. I'm like, oh my God. This is something they should have explained to us, or I don't know if they did actually explain to the students during the orientation, but because I missed the orientation. But this is something that should be explained to international students during orientation. Like, you are no longer in your country, you are in another country, so you have to write like a native student. So how do you do this? Because this is, in my place, they'll be like, it's just like you learning something new at an old age, like, but you're a student, and that's why you need to learn, right? So it wasn't easy, but it's so funny. It's funny to me now, but it wasn't funny then, because it's just like you starting elementary school, because you are now learning how to write. And that is where the language center comes in. There's a department called language center in every school. Try to go to the language center, try to go to another department called writing center. These two departments are there to help you. Especially the writing center, they will read through your writing and tell you what you're not doing well, tell you how you are not writing like a native student, tell you what sentences you should change, and what sentences you should pull from your writing, from your essay, your thesis, whatever you're writing, or your assignments, whatever the professor has asked you to submit to him or her. Make sure that a staff at the writing center looks at your work, because that will help you a lot. Because if you just believe in yourself, oh, you know what, my professors back home trust me, I could do well and all those stuff, you are not going to do well. You just have to have a native go through your work, and a native from a writing center or a language center. Go to them, they are going to help you understand the basis of writing in that country. So I want to see if so most of those professors, they don't really care about if you're coming from another country. Some of them don't care, and that is why you really need to see a native go through your work, right? Go to the writing center, go to the language center, let them look through your work so well and point out things that you need to change, things you need to remove, how to make it look like a native is writing and all those stuff. That will help you a lot. And the last I am going to be talking about, this is the toughest, is finance. How do you finance your education? This is tough, especially as an international student, when you are not coming from a wealthy family, or when you are studying without a scholarship. It is then tough. I do advise students, start earlier to, when you're making your application, start earlier to look out for schools that will give you a full scholarship, so you don't go into that country struggling. Look for there are universities, all they need from you is GRE and TOEFL, and once you have your GRE, you have your TOEFL, why not? You're going to get the scholarship. And it depends on how you also package your SOP and personal statement. depending on your your past experiences, depending on your academic performance through your transcript in your bachelor's or in your high school, depending on how you're able to pass all these international exams that will help you. So I do advise students, do look out for schools that will give you full scholarship. And if you don't, you finally get admission with a school that didn't give you the scholarship, fine, then you might struggle to school, but it's still worth it to, education still worth it for you to go through that kind of stress. I mean, from my own experience. So it is always good, even if you don't have a scholarship, try to also look out for ways you can survive. Like as an international student, you are in the US, you have that you are eligible to apply for for a job inside school, because you wouldn't be allowed to work outside school, but you're eligible to work inside school, so you can look out for jobs in school that will help you. And then you minimize your expenses, try to cook for yourself, try to join the school bus to whatever if you need to get into town, or if you need to get to anywhere, try to make use of the school transportation system. Because in most cities, if you try to use the city bus, it might cost you a lot as an international student that you would have to spend and spend. So try to cut your expenses, try to get a job in school. And what else did I not say? Exactly. So another point is, try to also go to financial aid office. These people can help you juggle around and see what options you might have that can help you as an international student. There might be different options, but you don't know unless you ask. You wouldn't get this information unless you seek, and that is why you must develop the spirit of curiosity. You have to be curious. You have to ask questions. You have to socialize. You have to meet same international students like you and ask them questions like, how do you guys survive this? They would be the one to show you different offices you can go to get aid. So if you are opportune to get into the financial aid office, they would help you to juggle around and different options that can help you, and you would now explore like what can I do in order to be able to survive my financial challenge. They will help you with all those questions, answer your questions wherever you're confused, and they can also help you to look out for jobs in school. These are the things that most of us didn't have an idea until a fellow international student will pass that information to you. But then you have to socialize, you have to network for you to. If you're the type that is introvert, try to convert yourself to extrovert. Studying in an international school will help you to be an extrovert. You must be an extrovert. You must forcefully be an extrovert, because that would help you a lot to get information and to seek for help when you need the help. So I'm just going to end the video here. For you to get more information on how to survive as an international student, please do not check out for my next video, and do not miss that video on what you can do to help yourself financially as an international student. That video is going to be coming up next. Please do not forget to like this video, and if you've learned something from the video, please do not forget to put it on the comment section. Ask any question. Like I said, I promise I am going to be getting back to that question, and because I might not remember everything as I'm making this video, your question would help me to remember something or whatever experience I've gone through, and then I'll answer you based on that question and based on my own experience. So do not forget to put your questions below, your comments, share the video, like and comment, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much.